All right, so let's talk about CM Punk potentially returning to WWE. So, the way the
CM Punk.
story,
CM Punk.
yeah. So the story is that apparently he's been like we've been hearing this for a couple weeks that he's been auditioning. I think how it started off was that his agent was contacting Fox to be a host of the WWE Backstage show, which is the kind of like the talk show that Renee Young and Booker T have on FS1, which I believe is Tuesday nights at 11, if I'm not mistaken. So apparently CM Punk wanted to be on that show, and apparently what we've heard from this week is that he actually was at the studio and was auditioning to actually be a part of the show, which is actually interesting. So he wouldn't necessarily be with WWE, he would actually be working for Fox. But obviously that would open the door for him returning, obviously, if he's on a show talking about WWE. But it seems like he's no matter what happens, he's definitely. I think he's probably wrestled his last match at this point. I mean, I don't know, but that's the
No
way it looks.
way.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
Back. I thought if he's gonna wrestle again and be in AEW, I don't think he's gonna wrestle in AEW. I don't think they want to work him either. He made them look like fucking idiots at Starcast when he was. I don't know if it was at Starcast in particular. He did like an interview and he's like, "Well, they never presented me an offer. All they did was text me, and if they want to actually get me an offer, maybe they should see me." And then Cody actually talked about it, how they did present him a legitimate offer. But I don't think he's going to go to AEW. I think he wants to go to WWE and work like a Goldberg type schedule, one or two matches, and that's it,
Yeah,
and
I
make
mean,
his money.
I was definitely taken back when he was at that the Starcast interview and he was saying like I'm not totally against talking to WWE. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that was when I saw that I was like, "There's no fucking way." I didn't expect him to say that. But he even says like, "I probably wasn't the easiest person to deal with back then either," which is kind of crazy for him to say. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't, but it's just
yeah, I mean, my whole mentality this and we've had these conversations like throughout the years, like privately, about we're talking about the Ultimate Warrior. We're talking about Bruno Sammartino and all these people, how they were able to get back in good favor with WWE. So I think because I think those breakups were more messy than with CM Punk. Actually, like remember they made a documentary, The Self Destruction of Ultimate Warrior. So I think that whole
yeah.
thing was probably a little bit worse, and they ended up patching things up. So I think so that makes me think that anything's possible. So I always had that in my mind that it's don't count it out that WWE and CM Punk can kind of heal things up. But as far as wrestling is concerned, it's possible that he might wrestle more matches. But I think him as a full time competitor is done. Like if he would wrestle
Oh,
again,
100%.
it would be
Yeah.
like on a part time basis, kind of like how back in the mid 2000s when like Mick Foley he'd wrestle like 2 or 3 times a year and that was it. He would probably
Do
do
you
something
think
like
they would
that.
even want him back? Do
Oh,
you
I
even
think
think
they would.
WWE would take him back? I don't know. I mean, apparently AEW doesn't want to work with him now because of the comments he made,
Their
and
whole
like
thing is
WWE doesn't,
what's best for business. WWE.
but they don't necessarily need him. Like they don't need him to come back. They have like they wouldn't have a bigger draw than him, but I don't think he's gonna draw like that much to the point where it's gonna make a major difference. I'd love to see him come back
I'm
personally.
trying to
Like,
think of like the top guys in WWE right now and who like I'd be like, oh, we need to see CM Punk fight this person. Like, so we've seen Brock Lesnar, we've seen Daniel Bryan. He hasn't really been in the ring too much with Seth Rollins in WWE at least. I think he had like one match with him like on Raw when he was feuding with the Shield back then.
dude,
But other than
just
that,
put him with like Seth Rollins, AJ,
oh yeah, AJ
Owen.
Styles, yeah, AJ.
Put
Uh,
him. He
yeah,
could have some good matches. He could have
he,
some good matches. I mean,
he can have some
he's
good
great.
matches, yeah. So you think he's gonna come back, right?
If he gets any type of deal with Fox, it's guaranteed he's coming back. At least being on TV. If nothing
Yeah.
comes out of this Fox deal, then I doubt it. But
Here's
if
how it's gonna
because
start. He's gonna be on the Fox show, and then 2K21. He's gonna be the pre-order bonus,
exactly
and then
some
it's
shit
gonna
like
go.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
It's always through 2K. WWE didn't want Ultimate Warrior to be in the commercials. WWE didn't want Sting to be a part of it. And then all of a sudden, when they do it, they see it's making money. They bring him in.
Yeah, people like don't realize like how like big like 2K is, like how they're able to like influence what happens. Like so with Sting, they were a big part of Sting coming back, Goldberg coming back, Ultimate Warrior. So they could
They are the
potentially
reason.
do the same thing with CM Punk, because remember those deals started off with 2K. You know, it was a 2K deal. It wasn't a WWE deal because they're kind of separate entities. You know.
I'd love to see it, man. I think him coming back would be a good thing and make things interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I would really wanted to see him versus Kenny Omega, but I also really want to see him versus Seth Rollins. So I wouldn't mind him going to WWE. But I think for sure there's a better possibility he's working with WWE than AEW. I think he's shat on AEW too much in the public eye for them to even want to work with him at all.
Yeah, and you know, despite the lawsuit and everything, he knows deep down that if he that he's going to make the most money in WWE than anywhere else.
Yeah, he'll make that money right back, just off of merchandise.
So I know he's currently signed with the UFC. I assume that's going to run out because he's definitely not going to fight another fight again. I know he's doing commentary with like a smaller MMA promotion. So I think he's got that. I mean, remember in 2010 he got like a minor injury, so they wanted to keep him on TV, so they had him do commentary on Raw. He was really good. I think that would be his future, honestly, like long term. He should be like kind of like a Corey Graves, like a color commentator, you know?
Yeah, he's good at it. He does good on the UFC stuff, and he did with the WWE. He knows how to talk.
Yeah, it was amazing how much chemistry him and Michael Cole had on commentary.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back to that. Like if he were to do, color commentary or anything. But I don't think we now. If we see him come back, you think he's main eventing WrestleMania?
Never. No way.
No, I don't think so.
He would have to. If he came back, honestly, like in like a wrestling capacity, it would be a Brock Lesnar situation where he'd only work a few dates or whatever.
But you don't think he would main event a WrestleMania? I think he would.
It's tough. I mean, what would be a WrestleMania main event for CM Punk? I'm trying to picture that.
Versus John Cena.
Do you think Cena's gonna wrestle again?
Yes, of course. I mean, Cena's doing like Fast 8 or 10, whatever fucking movie they're on. He's doing that right now, but he's still in great shape. He's not retired. He's not done. I think if
The Rock's done,
event,
but John Cena might have some left. Yeah.
Yeah, I think main event. I think it would be fitting for him to go against Cena. Now, who benefits from it? No one really. Like if Cena goes over, it doesn't really matter too much because he's not the guy anymore. And if Punk goes over, he's not going to be the guy. But at the same time, it's kind of like, WrestleMania is about having like a spectacle and shit. It's not like
it would kind of be like how The Rock and Stone Cold, that was like the big feud of the Attitude Era. Then they had their final match at WrestleMania 19. So I guess that would be a similar thing because our time period, one of the biggest feuds was John Cena and CM Punk.
I remember being in high school and we were talking about when he did the pile driver on Cena that Monday night, that match they had going into WrestleMania 29.
Oh yeah. Remember how pissed off I was about Cena and The Rock again?
Yeah, freshman year of high school, man. That goes a long. He hasn't been there since we were like sophomores.
Yeah,
he hasn't been. He has not wrestled since we were
going
sophomores.
On to 6 years. School. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I remember I was watching Raw the night after the Royal Rumble 2014. I remember we were so pissed about Batista winning the Rumble and how awful that match was. And then I was like, wow, CM Punk did so great. His performance was amazing. He lasted a long time and he was kicking everyone's ass. And then that whole stupid thing with him getting eliminated by Kane, who wasn't even in the match anymore, that kind of pissed me off. Yeah. But then the next night I'm watching Raw and I'm like, where the hell is CM Punk? It didn't even cross my mind that he walked out or quit. I'm like, wow, creative really is messed up that they don't have anything for Punk, like that they're just not having him on the show, and apparently he walked out. I'm like, oh, okay. But I remember that Raw in Chicago a couple months later, and they were kind of hyping up that CM Punk was going to come back a little bit, but then it was Paul Heyman who was like coming out to Punk's music, and that's the last we've ever heard CM Punk's music. And then you've had CM Punk chants every now and then, and Stephanie McMahon would like bury CM Punk in front of the crowd. But I think
I want to hear that music one last time. Like, I want to hear it.
Definitely. I mean, we're definitely going to hear it again at some point, whether it's an in-ring capacity, or if it's more of like a backstage role or whatever, interviewing or whatever. I mean, that's definitely his long-term thing, I think. Like, I think 10 years from now, he's going to be on the commentary table, definitely.
Or I think it's just very upsetting we never got him versus Stone Cold.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I think if that's up to him. Like, if he was not in good shape, his neck was still messed up. He didn't want to force himself to wrestle again.
No, how he would